Alright YouTube, so it's been about 24 hours since the embargo was lifted for the Fallout 76 event at the Greenbrier Hotel. Everybody's been able to make as many videos as they want based on that gameplay they captured. And I have since watched a good amount of the videos, not all of them obviously, since people were able to capture upwards of 3 hours of gameplay. It'd be kind of hard for me to watch all of that within 24 hours. Outside of the couple of videos that Oxhorn put out, I've only really watched people's first impressions videos or their reviews, because I'm not going to sit there and watch, 1 to 3 hours of gameplay that some of these YouTubers have put out, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because some people are interested in just seeing raw gameplay, which I am too, but I'm not going to sit there for 3 hours watching gameplay with no commentary. So I figured I'd kind of give you guys my impressions off of all this gameplay we've got, my review, my thoughts, whatever you want to call this video. I have no idea what I'm going to title it right now. First up, and it's kind of odd, something I noticed is we haven't really learned that much new stuff about the game, which you think you would based on the amount of gameplay that's out there, but after watching, Maddie's review, Juicehead's review, Camelworks review, Mini True Nerd's videos an hour long, you have Oxhorn's long-ass videos, and I feel like I haven't really learned that much about the game, and it makes me wonder if there's anything else left to learn. With the amount of gameplay that I've watched, in the past 24 hours, and writing down notes and stuff, I've probably written down less than 20 things. I feel like I've gotten more information from Game Informer's article or something. I feel like Pete's tweets has given me more information than this actual raw gameplay, which is kind of crazy. So probably the most obvious and most glaring issue that we've seen from all this gameplay we've received is the frame rate issues. People were having frame drops not too far out from Vault 76, which is kind of insane because it's the very beginning of the game. Some people went to other areas like the Savage Divide, which still isn't really that far from the beginning of the game, and we're having the game was skipping around on the top of the world ski resort or whatever. The fact that the game was barely even optimized outside of Vault 76 is very, very scary and kind of telling of what the game's going to probably look like during the beta and more than likely during the launch, which is kind of sad. It's crazy that they brought all these people out to test the game out, and it wasn't even really optimized for the testing that they had available. And this kind of just goes back to what we've been talking about for a few months now. The beta and massive testing, getting more people to play the game should have happened sooner, man. You're talking about the very first area, the forest biome, right outside of Vault 76, and the game's buggy and glitchy and frames are dropping. Think of how far away some of the areas are. The Myers on the other side of the map, the Cranberry Bogs on the other side of the map. Do you think it's possible for them to actually really fix this before the beta? Because I don't know how likely that is. Some of the YouTubers like Oxhorn and Juicehead were kind of complaining about the gameplay not being that good, but they also admitted in their videos that they are PC gamers, so that's not really a fault of the game itself. To me, it looks like it plays pretty much just like Fallout 4, and if that's the case, I think Fallout 4 has great gameplay. Probably the greatest gameplay out of the modern Fallout games, in my opinion. We got to see a good amount of questing throughout different people's gameplays, because obviously different people went and did different things around the map, and it doesn't seem that good, which is kind of obvious. We've been talking about this for a while now. The lack of actual NPCs walking around the map and giving you quests and being able to interact with them is going to make everything seem super dead and linear, and it kind of seems to be the case. You pretty much just stumble across a location and get a quest, or you're going to access a terminal and get a quest, you're going to find a note on a dead body, or a note hanging on a door or a wall and get a quest, or you're going to find a holotape, and it's kind of weird that every single person throughout the entire state of West Virginia was like, you know what, I'm going to record a holotape, or I'm going to write in my terminal, I'm going to write a damn note, I'm going to hang it on my door frame, just in case somebody stumbles across this and can figure out what happened to me and what killed me. Now, as I am kind of complaining about this, it won't really bother me that much. I played Elder Scrolls Online, and that has very, very boring side quests to do, but you have a lot of exploration in that game, so as long as the exploration is decent in this game, I don't think it'll be that bad for me. And along with the game having kind of linear quests, it seems to be super repetitive in that you just kind of go out and do some miscellaneous quests, gather resources, come back to your camp, or I guess just pull up your camp, break down the resources, build what you want to build, settlement stuff, weapons, armor, whatever, go out into the wasteland, do it again, come back, rinse and repeat, which can be a bad thing, obviously, but it can also be a good thing if it's done right. I just don't know if it will be in this game. I actually have to play it. Now, on to some more positive things, I'd say. First up, visually, the game looks great to me. It looks pretty damn good. Now, for modern gaming standards, obviously, it doesn't even really compare. But compared to Fallout 4, it's definitely a step up. The colors are popping more, which again, vibrant colors don't really make the game good. But when it comes to say Call of Duty, that's why a lot of people like Treyarch's Call of Duty games compared to Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward, because Treyarch does a lot of colors. And I like that too. I don't want my game to be one solid color. Everything's gray or something. But something else that you guys got to remember is that they were playing on Xbox One X's in 4K, so of course this game looks good. Now for people like me who don't really give a shit about Xbox One X's or 4K gaming, I don't own something that can look like that, so the game's not going to look like that for a lot of us. So what it looks like on a regular Xbox One, I don't know. Another good thing is that it seems like griefing won't really be that big of an issue, since we've seen the actual slap damage done to other players during this gameplay, and it is very, very minimal, to the point that I don't even really know how a single player could murder another player, since you have the ability to like run away, fast travel away, and all that stuff. Like, you'd have to really just be standing there letting it happen. Now, a group of players, you have 4 players shooting at you to kill you and murder you, that might be a little bit different, but still, the damage was so little that it just doesn't even seem possible. And we've talked about the positives and the negatives of this and throughout so many different videos, but if you're worried about griefing, I don't think you got to worry about it anymore. And in the same realm, it seems like you're not really going to see players that often. The world does seem to be quite big, which we've already heard about 4 times since Fallout 4. We've heard it a million damn times now. Because even at this gameplay event where everybody's starting at the exact same time and coming out of the vault at the exact same time, they weren't even really running into each other that often, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But on the flip side of that, they're not really going to be trying to grief each other at this event. Even if, say, one of these YouTubers or one of these influencers are really kind of assholes when they're gaming online anyway, they're not going to do it at this event. And even at the amount that people were running into each other, again, they were starting at the exact same time, so that's bound to happen. Once the game actually comes out, there's going to be people who are further in the story and in different regions that you're not really ever going to see anybody anyway, because somebody might be near the end of the story or in the middle of the story while you're starting out. So there's not going to be a whole lot of people in the beginning area once the game's been out for a while, unless they are also starting. Kind of a smaller, quicker one that I want to throw out there. To me, VATS looks pretty good in Fallout 76. I did see some YouTubers kind of complain about it because you could VATS a guy, like, pretty much turn away from them and the shot could still hit, which I kind of understand what they're getting at there, but also it's like, who cares, dude? And actually, I just thought about this. That is not really any different than the previous Fallout games, because you could have a guy directly in front of you, directly behind you, and you could VATS the dude in front of you, click the stick left or right, and you'd be able to turn around and shoot the guy behind you, which if that were to play out in a real-time scenario, you'd shoot the guy in front of you, instantly 180 and shoot the guy behind you. So it's really not any different than the previous Fallout games. And lastly for me, and this is one of the biggest selling points when it comes to an open world game, is the exploration looks pretty damn good in Fallout 76. I care about other stuff too. I care about the story a little bit. I care about customization and all that other stuff. But when it comes to an open world game, I want the exploration to be great, and it looks like it's going to be in this game. And liking exploration is kind of an understatement, because I played so many different profiles on New Vegas and Skyrim before I ever decided to even finish the story. And when it came to Fallout 4, I never even went into Valentine's Detective Agency on my first playthrough until I was like level 60 something, because I explored the entire map first. And with all the gameplay that we've received in the past 24 hours, the exploration looks pretty damn good in Fallout 76. So I'm excited on that alone. That, for me, will sell the game to me, which I know is kind of ridiculous. Some people might very much disagree with that, but that's why I like open world games, man. There's a lot to do. You get your $60 worth. So that's kind of my thoughts so far on the game based on the gameplay we've received pretty recently, and it's kind of equal parts good, equal parts bad. It's like 50-50 almost. The difference being that the bad stuff we kind of already knew was going to happen anyway, and that's not me forgiving that stuff. That doesn't make it okay that there's all those bad things. But we knew because it's Bethesda, it's their first multiplayer game, the beta isn't happening until really close to release, that there were going to be technical problems, and because it was a multiplayer game with no NPCs, we knew that there were going to be repetitive and radiant quests that are just kind of meh. But on the other side of things, we didn't know what was really going to be good, because we've had very little gameplay up until this point, but with the gameplay that we've seen, I'm satisfied with the way VATS looks. The game looks visually good to me. The world and exploring look pretty great to me, and it looks like we're not really going to have to worry too much about griefing or running into other players, so I'm more on the positive side still when it comes to Fallout 76. But ultimately, this is just seeing and not doing, and the real verdict will come sometime after October 23rd when I actually can play the game. And with all that out of the way, let me know your thoughts below, guys. If you've been watching or paying attention to the gameplay over the past 24 hours, what do you think of Fallout 76? And as always, if you guys went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid, at my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a child.